Hello everyone and welcome to Nervous Nessie. Before I get started in this video, I wanted to address an elephant in the room for this video. I do talk a lot with my hands and I will be talking a lot with my hands in this video, so I know you're going to notice the bandage on my hand. Other morning, woke up, went to make breakfast. I was out of it, I was sleepy, and I managed to stick a knife into my hand. Yeah, so went, got 3 stitches in my hand, and it'll be fine. Hurts still a little. The only downside is that I am going to be going on another trip in just a few days, so this is going to be a little bit of an issue as far as having to move around with my luggage and washing my hair and stuff like that. But yes, I managed to stab my hand, and that is why I'm wearing the bandage. So yes, I am going on another trip. It is going to be a huge trip. It's actually going to last 2 full weeks. The Portland to Chicago trip and the Alaska trip both were only a week. So this is an even bigger trip lasting 2 full weeks. Now, I did mention in my New Year's Eve video, or technically New Year's Day video, that I had my cross-stitching project where I am filling in each state after I visit them. And so far, I have filled in everything. These are all of the states that I have visited. For this trip, I will be flying over to the East Coast. I'm gonna see if I can hold this up where you can see it. I will be flying to Charleston, South Carolina, where I will be staying for 2 days. And then I will get on the Amtrak train and head north all the way up to Washington, D.C. I will stay in Washington, D.C. for a full week. While I am there, I have booked a train to take me up to Delaware for a few hours and then come back to DC. After I've been in DC for a week, I will get on the train again and go through West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and into Cleveland, Ohio. And I will stay in Cleveland, Ohio for 2 days and then fly back home. So once the trip is said and done, all of the states, all 8 states through here plus DC, I will have visited in one trip. Now, I am missing Michigan, but I will get that one on another trip that I have planned. For this trip, I wanted again to try and stay in hostels. Hostels they're not for everyone, but they are a fantastic way to save a ton of money. However, for this trip, in Charleston, South Carolina, there is only one hostel and it is kind of far away from everything. In DC, there are quite a good amount of hostels, but they just didn't fit my way of traveling. Either they had very bad ratings and very bad reviews, or they had great ratings and great reviews, but I prefer to be able to really lock up my luggage and yet have the luggage in the room next to me. Most of the hostels in DC that I noticed, the luggage area is kind of outside the room, and that just doesn't work for me. Cleveland, Ohio did not have any hostels at all. So I was like, okay, where am I going to stay? I looked at hotels. That's very daunting. The hotels in DC, and I knew that I would be taking public transit and walking everywhere, but in DC, the hotels that are near the National Mall are outrageously priced. We're talking $300 to $400 per night. I am not paying that. I refuse to pay that. So, and I could stay a little far away from the National Mall, but for me, it was about convenience, being able to just get up and walk out the door, go a few blocks, and I'm there. And so I decided to look into Airbnb for all three destinations, Charleston, DC, and Cleveland. And I did find some awesome Airbnbs in each city. The Airbnb in DC is actually a room in one of the hotels. Apparently some hotels can do that where they reserve some rooms and they put them on Airbnb at a discounted rate. I got mine for, I think it was like half price. So if you're looking for a hotel in DC, maybe try checking out Airbnb and see if you can get the same hotel, but through Airbnb. Now, I will say the one I got, it did say on there a disclaimer and said extremely rare that this room is available. So I booked it really fast. But it is only like 3 or 4 blocks from the Capitol. And you cannot get any closer than that and get as good of a deal as I got. I did book this trip, I think, about 3 to 4 months in advance. I went ahead and booked it. DC is hit or miss when it comes to the availability of rooms and the cost of rooms. Summer, spring, those are kind of your peak seasons, especially during the Cherry Blossom Festival in the spring, which is March, April. But at the same time, DC year-round has conventions. And so a lot of the hotels book up really fast. But I got lucky and found this one, so I'm looking forward to staying there. Again, I will be doing public transit and walking. I looked at the weather. It is supposed to rain the entire trip, regardless of the city. So I will have to take my rain jacket. I bought a brand new umbrella because the umbrella that I have is wonderful because it's compact. However, you do have to manually open it and it's very, very lightweight. So if it's windy at all, the umbrella inverts. So I bought an umbrella online, and if I can, after this trip, if I use the umbrella, I will do a review of the umbrella because it is classified as a travel umbrella, and let everyone know what I think of the umbrella. While I am on the trip, I don't have anything planned for Charleston. I literally did not plan anything. I'm just going to wing it and just walk around and explore, take public transit, maybe go down to the various sites at the water. I don't know. I don't have anything planned. Just gonna wing it. I'm only going to be there for like 2 days. DC, however, I have a ton planned. I had to book it way in advance. You have to reach out to your representative, either a senator or another member of Congress, and email them, tell them, hey, I am going to be in DC from this date to this date. I want to go on these tours. That includes the Capitol tour, the White House tour, the tour for the FBI building, and the tour of the Senate. You have to book all of those tours about 3 months, 2 to 3 months in advance, and they will do a background check for the White House tour and the FBI tour. That involves sending in your social security number. If you are flying in internationally, unfortunately, you would not be able to do the White House tour. I don't even know if you can do the Capitol tour. I'm not sure. But I know that if you are flying into DC from another country, you are not allowed to do the White House tour. However, you kind of have a workaround. If you know an American that is in DC at the same time as you, you can have them request a tour and you can take the tour with them. But you cannot take the tour by yourself if you are from another country. It takes, I would say I got my FBI tour approval about 2 weeks before my trip starts. So it was more like 3 weeks before the actual tour date. And they send you an email saying yes or no and all of the details. The Capitol tour, you basically get confirmation almost right away once you reach out to the representative. Takes maybe a day or two for them to come back and say, yes, we do have availability. The White House tour, you get the confirmation either 3 to 14 days before the actual tour. Unfortunately, I did not get approved for that. And it wasn't because of my background check, because obviously my background check cleared because of the FBI tour, but it was because they only have so many slots for the White House tour, and those slots fill up very fast. So there wasn't any availability for me. There could be the possibility that someone backs out of the tour and maybe they reach out to me. Fingers crossed. But I doubt it. So once I got all of my tours booked and planned, then I started filling in the blanks of what I wanted to do each day. The FBI tour is nowhere near the Capitol, so I looked at all the different sites, the museums, and other types of tours that I wanted to do that are around the FBI building, and kind of planned when to go to each one. I did the Senate pass, and so after I do the Capitol tour, I will go to the Senate and then just explore everything around the Capitol in one day. I do want to have a day where I go to all of the various memorials that are to the left side, the west side of the National Mall. Basically, I would just leave my hotel, walk there, and then just explore that area in one day. And then I also want to go down to the basin, which is where the cherry blossoms are, and I can cross over the river there and go to Arlington Cemetery. I'm hoping to do that in one day, but I'm having to play it by ear based on the weather. When I'm going, it is in the spring during potentially cherry blossom season, so it's going to be very busy in DC, but at the same time, it's going to be raining. And a lot of people don't really want to get out in the rain. I don't care. I don't mind walking around in the rain, so hopefully I'll be able to see a lot because not as many people will be out. For Cleveland, I'm only really there for one full day. I come in really late at night on the train, like literally the middle of the night. And then I have one full day, and then I have to leave my Airbnb early and go to the airport kind of midday. So since I only have one full day in Cleveland, I am wanting to go to the Rock and Roll Music Hall of Fame. It's actually not far from my Airbnb. right in that same area as the Hall of Fame is also Lake Erie. I kind of have a goal of visiting all 5 of the Great Lakes. Right now I think I have 2 or 3 already. So I think this one, Lake Erie, will be either 3 or 4 that I have visited. And then just exploring that area near the water and the Hall of Fame. I think, what is it, the Cleveland Browns, I believe, played. Their stadium is right there as well. So there's a lot to do in that area. But I am really excited for this trip. I wanted to go to DC way before the pandemic ever hit, and I had brochures already, kind of already had stuff planned. And so now that everything is fully open and I can travel, I figured, okay, I will make DC the main part of my trip, but then visit all of the states that I'm missing in the area. So that is my next trip. Of course, I'm taking all of you with me. I won't get to film as much as I would like to. For the various tours, the FBI building, you can't even have your phone on. It has to be in airplane mode. And for the Capitol and Senate, you can have your phone on you, but you cannot have your camera. I don't think you can even really take pictures. I have to read the instructions on it. So I won't be able to film the actual tours, but I will be able to film everything else in DC. I'm hoping to go to a couple of the Smithsonian museums and film that, and the other various areas, the memorials, that sort of thing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this trip and sharing it with all of you. If you want to know whenever those videos come out, then subscribe and you'll be notified of when they come out. Also, if you are interested, I do have a Nervous Nessie Instagram account. Usually whenever I go on my trips, I will take pictures on my phone as well as shooting the videos on my camera here. I usually share the pictures from the trip on my Instagram while I'm on the trip or immediately after the trip, and then I will edit all of my videos and share those after the trip. So if you want to check out the videos, then subscribe, but if you want to kind of get a preview, go to the Nervous Nessie Instagram and check out the photos that I share on there. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video where I will be heading out the door on this 2-week-long trip. Until then, bye!